Hello, and welcome to season 3 of Super Bros Bros. I'm player 2, Eli, and with me, as always, is.
Player one, Isaac. And Protein Shake, did you know that this pod is on YouTube, SoundCloud, and Spotify?
I don't know, bro, mama. Those the same places people could
Like,
comment
share?
and subscribe.
Hold on. I'm going to do some math. Yes.
Story checks out.
News at 11. So speaking of news, what is new with you?
I've had a problem. I've had some problems. Notably, that there's Path of Exile, and my life has been gone since it showed up. So it has been running for, this is day 8. Mm-hmm. So I went up last week to Canada, actually, to go hang out with my buddy, Nathan, or his screen name is Hybris. And we played video games like absolute degenerates, overate, had a decent amount to drink. It was a good time. I got to see his dog. His dog's adorable. Oh my god, Heimdall. Got pump faked by my cat, debating jumping up on my chair. His dog is the cutest thing. And I have video of this. Is his dog bounces down the stairs. So it's very much like Ein after the mushrooms, just bounce, 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 bounce. And it's a corgi too. It's pretty much the exact same thing. It's so. I saw it the first time. I just started fucking giggling.
We'll try and put this up on the channel.
It's outstanding. It's like I got 7 seconds. We eventually got me at the bottom of the stairs filming, and he just like threw a chunk of meat at the bottom, so just bounce, 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 bounce. So Ren's adorable. Good time. And then I've started swimming again, which has been a fucking absolute reality check. God, are you getting up here or not? Look at my cat just like debating whether or not he's showing up in my life. It's like, I don't know. There he goes. Surprise. Me too. So my original plan, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna do 500 day, like I'm gonna do 500, start there, and add 100 every time I go. If I just want to get up to doing 2,000 again, I will be happy. That's the goal. Like I want to be able to basically swim 2K 2 or 3 times a week. That's the goal. That's like my end where I'm happy.
Damn. How long would it take you to, like, at the height of your powers, how long is swimming 2K going to take you?
When I was at my best, so the problem is that like when I was at my best, I was fucking 17, and I was not as big. So like now, if I had the same like, I'm literally I am larger. Like, I'm just a bigger dude. Turns out, fucking junior in high school, whatever. I hadn't finished growing. And when I was in swim team, I think like something like 14 or 15, actually, not even 17. I did 3K in an hour. That was the best I'd ever done. I thought I was gonna die. I was so gassed afterward. Like I remember going to the church afterward and just collapsing in a pew, and mom like woke me up after choir. They're like, "We're gonna take you home." I'm like, "Okay."
Nate.
I was so tired. So like I could have probably done 2K in like 40 minutes, 45 minutes. That's kind of the goal I want to get back to. But I just need the endurance. So I rolled up day 1 to the pool. And I'm like, 500. That's not that much. I mean, maybe I could do 1,000. No, I could not. Dude, my heart was like hammering out of my chest. My arms and legs are like, what are you doing? So I've gone twice. So I've gone 1 day every week so far. In part because the pool I've been going to is cheap, but it's ghetto as fuck. It's like adjoining. Excuse me. It's adjoined to a high school, and it doesn't have showers. So I have gone in the morning and then gone to work afterward. And I don't know if you've gone a day sitting with fucking chlorinated skin. It is not fun. It's like your body is perpetually thirsty. It's so miserable.
Yeah, it feels like you have the beginnings of a fever.
Yes. It's like somewhere between that and like when you're hungover and your whole body feels thirsty. Like like that's the best way I can describe it. It's so awful. Like you feel so clammy. It's just like you feel sticky and gross. It's, like you feel sticky in the weirdest way. It's ah. So I'm actually after this going to go check out a gym. Um, it's more expensive, but like if I
Treat
don't have to,
yourself.
yeah. But if I can also rinse off before I go to
Yeah.
work, so I'm not like disgusting and just going all day.
Money is
Or
meant to secure things like quality of life.
yeah, exactly. That is what it's gonna pay for.
Don't hoard it, you fucking goblin.
No,
Just spend that shit.
yeah, we're gonna. I'm also gonna make sure the place doesn't like isn't somehow stupid and just putting a good face forward. But
Yeah.
also check like what hours I can use the pool. If it doesn't have like mornings, like that's a
Yeah,
problem.
non-starter.
So but yeah. Otherwise, I have been playing Path of Exile like a degenerate. I yeah, that's pretty much been my life. It's been bad. I've been enjoying the new season a lot. The Settlers of Kalgur is very fun. It's a little
Woo!
the problem is they have kind of capped like taken advantage of what like mobile games do, where
Mm-mm.
it's like you gotta there's like upkeep, and so you keep kind of coming
Grown.
back to put
Mm-hmm.
gold in to keep your little like it's a little town builder kind of thing, like very not gonna say Stardew Valley ish, but kind of.
Yeah.
And so everything is a gold cost to run, so it drains while you're offline. So you come back like fuck anybody.
I think that's cool. Also, fuck them. That's kind of a tilter.
I mean, it's the first time they've ever done anything like it. So it's an interesting experiment, and it's temporary.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Like so, I don't know if it will go core. I don't know what they're going to do with it. It's
Yeah.
very much an experiment for them, and it's a very cool. Like that's part of why I love playing the leagues in Path of Exile is like they get to try wonky shit.
Yeah.
So and it's I I do honestly like it for the most part. I think it's pretty cool. But occasionally it's like I need to fund my town. Like anyway, what have you been up to?
So, dating update.
Cool.
Last we talked, I'd just gotten back from an amazing date that ended at a lovely hour in the wee mornings. It was fantastic. Had a lovely time. Was quite unexpected. And I don't remember if it was on the air or off the air. I talked to you about, hey, I'm seeing ostensibly I'm seeing someone else later today. Should I
What do
feel
I
bad?
do?
Huh?
What do I do? Yeah.
Yeah, I was. What do I do? And you brought up a good point of are you expecting this person to suddenly remain off the market because of this one date? I was like, I guess not. I would prefer they did, but also I'm not willing to do that, so I should afford them the same luxury, as that is being non-hypocritical and understanding of humanity.
Yeah.
So supposed to have a date Sunday, they canceled, they rescheduled for the next weekend and then ghosted me, so that was neat.
Cool.
And then
That's
I had a date that was set up on Tuesday, said some stuff that was probably not the best, and I think they overreacted a little bit and canceled our date. Fine, within their purview, whatever. Um, and learned a valuable life lesson after talking to my fantastic friends and mulling over, why did this person freak out about this, and learned something. So that was, it didn't it didn't come at no yield, so that was kind of lovely. But messaged him, I was like, hey, we were supposed to hang out Wednesday. I was like, my Tuesday opened up. My friend canceled or something. I don't know, you know.
um,
And she's like, oh, I'm meeting a friend for dinner on Tuesday. Sorry, but I can't wait until Wednesday. I was like, me either. Turns out, friend on Tuesday was somebody who she'd been seeing occasionally here and there, and they had a lovely time on Tuesday as well as we had on Sunday, I guess. And then they had been like, "Hey, we've been seeing each other a while. Are you down to like make this a thing?" And she was like, "Oh, yeah, I guess so." And so, like, did not had the exact same thing I inadvertently had been fearing happen, even though totally valid. And it was just like, ah, fuck.
oh, that sucks.
Wish I had planned a date for Monday. Damn it. But it is what it is. Back on the dating apps after a day of sadness, where I just didn't go to the gym and was kind of wallowed in self pity. Um, Went back at it. I've been to the gym of the last 2 weeks, 9 of the 10 days that I would expect myself to go. So I'm very happy with
High
my
five.
progress. Yeah. Not
Fucking
doing super long. I'm just doing like 2 30-minute sessions of upper body and then 3 1-hour sessions of cardio and slowly improving. But after doing some soul searching and talking to my therapist, this is just, I'm very much fine with how I am progressing and ingesting and interacting with the world right now, given this or magic or whatever. And it's just a realization that to compare my workout regimen with somebody else's is just
yeah, don't do that.
no. Well, not only in like, well, I'm not measuring up, is like using them as a rubric. It's like lightly okay, but like when you start looking at yourself and what you're capable of, if I look over the history of my life, the reasons I stopped going to the gym is because I pushed too hard, hurt something, and then was disenfranchised with the gym, not because it hurt me, but because I didn't want to do it because I'm in pain. I am somebody that needs to slowly, as I understand myself in my current state, I am someone that needs to slowly wade into the pool, not cannonball in the deep end and be like, get it over with when it comes to this aspect of my life. And so that's the way I'm going to approach it, because I'm, to steal a Christian phrase, I am playing for the line, not the dot. You know, I am in this, the whole idea of working out is I want to be doing this for as long as I can so that I stay in good shape and I feel good in my body, and my, you know, my body lasts well and is youthful for as long as it can be, while, you know, doing it in a way that I don't find to be exhausting or overexerting too much. So um back to dating for a second though. I have noticed this thing since going back to the apps and just looking through profiles. I think this is completely fine, but it feels like women can get away with writing shit on their profile that if guys ever did, they're fucking done. I'm sure guys do, and I hope they are poo-pooed on this, but I feel like women get a little bit of a cheat card on this, because I'll read a profile and it's like, uh take me out, wine me, dine me, give me all this stuff, looking for a big dick, looking for a provider, looking for this and that. And I'm just like, if a guy wrote the opposite, like their version of that, that's near cancelable. Yeah, looking for double D rack, want subservience in the bedroom. Like, bye.
Yeah. No.
I think, I mean, look, the dating and real world is hyper male slanted, so I don't mind giving back, or just in general, it's just fucking funny to me. Just like reading this, I'm just like, wow, because it is not that much of a one off going through the apps. There's a fair amount of people that just come in and be like, here's my wish list, Santa. Check it or get the fuck out. It's like, all right. You know what you want. I can respect that. I'm glad you know, you're, because this is also a kind of a cool thing about the internet. You're in a space where you can say that and not feel punished or, you know, scandalized. So I like that it affords the safety for people who want to voice such a thing. Fucking walking back. So going to the gym has had me walking around LA a bit.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm walking back the other day. I round a corner and there's a guy just walking the other way. Sure, whatever. I walk by him. I say nothing. I think I have headphones on. And just as he walks by me, I can hear him turn, because he's talking at me. Like, clearly he's not talking away from me, so I know it's being directed at me. He goes, "Oh, are you crazy too?" I'm like, I didn't fucking say anything. I didn't do anything. What is happening right now? And I'm just like, nah, man. He's just like, yeah, sure. I'm like, is this the beginning of my horror movie? What's going on? I need an adult. This is bad. I mentioned that I've been doing a fair amount of therapy work and it has been going really, really well, but it was kind of funny to notice. I went back to my like first magic tournament that I've been to in a while, that despite how I feel, and I do believe that I am like vastly improving, not all the system updates have been fully integrated yet. There's some moments yesterday where I was like, I still got work to do. That's That's nice. I don't need to cancel therapy just yet. Somebody said something stupid. I just kind of like, I didn't snap on them, but I was just like, afterwards, like, probably could have let that go. Didn't need to spit quite as much fire as I did. So I did something that I've been wanting to do since definitely I was a kid, if not when we were kids.
What's that?
Beat fucking Time Crisis.
Oh my god.
Fucking dead. I was even, there's many a barcade here in Los Angeles.
Yep.
And had some tokens after a date where I knew it doesn't make sense, but it does make sense. I'm sure there's more to it, but on this date, the person's nice enough. I knew that the date was effectively over as far as the date was concerned.
Yeah.
When we're playing video games at a barcade, as you do, and we would like play one life, and I'd like go to re-up token. She goes, "Oh, okay. What's the next game you want to play?" I was just like, "Nah, this isn't gonna work." Like in my head, immediately when she's just like done with the game after one life, I was like, "All right, moving on. What's next?" I'm just like, "Nah, this is it. We're done here." Just in my head, it's just like fucking nope. So we just played around, had fun. It was a fine enough date, a great dinner experience with somebody who I hadn't really met before. So that was lovely. But it was just like, nope, you have removed yourself from the running. I don't know if you know this, but I ended up having like $5 worth of tokens left. So I asked a couple of my homies, "Hey, do you want to go help me spend these tokens?" They're like, "Sure." So we went out, had terrible food there. I got sweet and sour wings. Yeah, they were just sour.
Ugh.
Yeah, I don't think I've had a more disconcerting dish in my life than sour wings. It was so unpleasant. But after said sour wings, got into Time Crisis and fucking like $2.53 at it. Got there, killed the boss. It was everything I wanted the game to be, lines and gameplay included. And got even to enter my name in the system at the end. I'm like sitting in 8th or whatever, but it was like, fuck yeah, we did it, boys. Childhood Isaac is freaking the fuck out. So I don't know about y'all out there, but that was my game. That I think that's like the game I associate most with arcades, more than fighters, more than anything, is Time Crisis. But yeah, it's what's been going on for the old. Here's a cringe one, Ikenator.
Moving on.
To scavenge. Nope, that doesn't work. All right, so this week
we're talking about Scavengers raid. just ripping this band-aid off. I watched it a while ago, and I recommended it pretty shamelessly to pretty much everybody I think would like it,
including me,
including you. And he finally watched it.
I did.
So we're gonna talk about it.
Yeah. So to spoilers, obviously, but if you want to watch the end of the episode or whatnot, Richard, if you could interject a little sound bit and let them know when we are done talking in post, because you're a magician and can do that, that'd be lovely. So at
54 minutes and 47 seconds, we are out of the spoiler zone, but Isaac talks briefly about the art style. If you don't want to hear about that, the commercial break happens at 56 minutes and 6 seconds, and we are back from commercial at 57:17.
You click to this heading on the fucking recording, and then we'll be done talking about the ship. But until then, here's what we think. What didn't you like, mein Broskinkowski?
Some of the biology in the planet gets, not that it gets weird, it feels almost a little inconsistent at times.
Do you have any examples?
Notably with the big fucking gecko.
Sure.
Like, there's just a couple times where it seems like he should just dumpster people and kind of doesn't, which is a little
Yeah.
wonky. I was a little confused by like the parasite life cycle was a little strange.
Which one?
The one that's like in Sam's chest.
Yeah, that was.
I get I get how
peculiar.
it spreads. I didn't quite understand like I didn't understand the whole making a cave for it. That's the part I didn't quite get. It was like, what purpose did the cave serve? Or like
Yeah.
what did the big host serve? Like what was its function? That's the part that I was very perplexed about. It ultimately doesn't really matter, but that one just was very strange to me. I also feel like the way they killed one of the kind of off-worlder guys, the guy just gets like ranched by a plant.
Yeah.
That felt a little abrupt and almost kind of cheap, but I didn't hate it too much. Just like, oh,
Yeah,
bye.
I think it does some good things for Barry, and also showing their inexperience in the planet in a way. Although
Sure.
that is not something that really comes into play much after that. So I guess that is a little fruitless if that's the idea behind it. But I guess showing in a way it shows their inexperience on such a hostile planet.
Yeah. There's also a couple things with just like symbolism that I didn't really understand, and I don't know if it will get. Hopefully, get a second season, and hopefully, some of it makes
What
more
was some of
sense.
the symbolism?
So,
To see
like
if I can
in the
regard to the
weird,
board.
kind of like maze wall thing,
Okay.
where Ursula sees the little alien dying in a flower.
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck was that? I still don't know. Like, it clearly has something to do with the idea that the planet is like an alive entity, and that like
Sure.
there's something with the plants. There's something linking it together. It has a collective consciousness. What the fuck is going on with that? It was that at the end with like the reanimated Levi, where it's like a big plant and it just fucking has a laser beam now. What the fuck? I don't have an
It has a laser
explanation for
beam?
that. Huh?
It has a laser beam?
What do you think it does to the gecko? It just fucking
Dude, all right. So I have that fight is visually cool, but wholesale uncomprehendable to me.
Yeah.
That's one of my nitpicks with the show, is that the second fight, while it reminded me a lot of the end to, I think it's First Reformation. It's this weird fucking A24 movie that came out a couple years ago. The
Okay.
end to it is just wholesale to me, wholesale out of fucking nowhere, and is just like, ooh, look at us. It's like, this doesn't make any goddamn sense.
Yeah.
What the hell's going on? It's cool, but like, I don't know what the fuck's happening.
Yeah.
The culmination, I guess, the lead up to that moment, I get as much as anything, but the fight, and then them like colliding heads and going through this inter fucking universe like spasm.
Yeah, some bizarre fucking drug trip.
Yeah.
Ending with it just being literally blasted by energy.
Yeah.
Very
Effectively
perplexing.
throwing up everything it ate and then becoming a baby again. So
Yeah,
like, what?
Yeah, I don't understand that whatsoever.
That's
Like,
that's by far it's cool, so it gains back some points for not making sense, but that is, I think, by far my biggest gripe with the show, is that fight resolution is just like, huh?
Yeah.
Like, it's it's their version of the ending of Secret of Nim. It's like, magic. You're like, what? Yeah, it's fine. This literally has not taken place at any point in the show. Yeah, don't worry about it. What the fuck?
It's chill, but it's chill, guys. The dragons were tractors. We still got magic. Like, what the fuck?
So one of the other things while we're talking about the gecko is, while I agree its powers seemingly are a little bit either underutilized or overutilized, I think you can make arguments for like timing, exhaustion, some
Yeah, like
bullshit.
I think the biggest one is they show it getting tired from using it.
Sure.
Like
I think you can make an argument that like leading up to the last fight he is kind of like exhausted from chasing and fighting like half the crew.
Sure.
The thing for me is, what the fuck's its motivation? It acts like an angry hippo sometimes, and then other times it's like whatever.
So
I'm like, what? Why is it trying to destroy half this shit?
so I think I can actually explain that one.
Do you think it's trying to keep
Yes.
Cayman?
Yes.
Which also, we should have started this segment off with fuck Cayman.
Yeah, we should have started this whole review with just fuck Cayman.
Yeah.
Guy
Understand
sucks.
that sad boy, but fuck him so much.
He's the worst. The stone
Alright.
worst.
So gecko motivation.
So I think initially it's just like it's doing its typical life cycle,
Mm-hmm.
and it finds a bigger thing to possess, and then I think it basically starts seeing Cayman as a pet, and so it wants to keep Cayman. So any opportunity for Cayman to leave is problematic for him.
Interesting. Okay.
That
makes sense.
That's my best guess, because it's just like he runs across the ship and just goes, nah, and just destroys it.
Yeah. I think that's a good explanation. It is a little bit perplexing in a way, but I guess that makes enough sense that I'm willing to buy that for sure.
Yeah, because it takes a nap on the Demeter next to his wife's corpse. Which
Yikes.
Yeah. It's so uncomfortable, but I think it's trying to be nice.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a little harrowing.
Yeah, there's a lot of that show. It's harrowing.
Yeah. That was something else though. That was just like oh.
Yeah.
So something that wasn't harrowing, that was a bit just perplexing, was in the second act, the actual scavengers who show up.
Yeah.
The way they choose a captain is wholesale stupid. I'm sorry. Let's play a breathing game. Are you fucking kidding me? What is this?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know who thought that needed to be in there, but that is like, if they had not had to choose the captain game, it plays the exact same. Just have them not choose a captain. It makes way more sense.
Yeah, it was. Here's the only nitpick I'd give to that, or like note I'd give on that, is that it's one more way that she can pretend to be fair.
Sure.
That's my only guess. So because because
she also a person that go fuck her.
Yeah, she is second on the line of fuck her. What's her name? Why did I just blank on her name?
Because it's like said twice.
Fair. It's gonna bug me. I have to look.
Okay. So I really didn't like her, not only as like a fan of the show and all the people that she ends up hurting, but also the way she is written is a little fucking vanilla as far as like characters go. Because it makes sense, but also it doesn't. It's like a lot of it's very human, but it's like her character is very short-sighted, and I don't think they needed to write her so basic. I really wish they kind of given her character a little bit more motivation or reason for it, or explained it.
Chris.
As Chris's character is kind of like two-dimensional as fuck.
I mean, I think in many ways she's just there to be kind of a device. Like,
agree.
She is just kind of a quick antagonist. So like, I'm fine with her being pretty basic, because
I just figured like how much depth Barry had, she had like fucking a fifth of that.
I don't even think Barry had depth. I think Barry's a scared kid.
Yeah, but like the logic behind it and the this and that, and with the voice recording, like there's little things that you can like that start to make his character. Chris just sucks.
I mean,
Like the fact that she kills the guy, her own fucking crewmate, and then goes, "It would be nicer," I think shows a lack of, like, she's answering a question that hasn't been asked. Have them ask the question for it to be answered. Like, there's like little things that change what kind of character she is. Like, she's not hard, otherwise she wouldn't say that, because it doesn't need to be said because it's wasting breath. So she should be answering a question, which she isn't. There, like, a bunch of little things. I think your thought to the choosing of the captain game as like a way to show, to show faux equality, or
yeah,
is that's a very good point. But just, I don't know. I think they could have, without too much effort, given her a little bit more depth to make her a slightly less, kind of like meh villain of just like, I'm gonna take your shit because the shit's ours. It's like, what fucking, like, the rest of the show has depth, and then suddenly this character is just like fucking straight out of the 20s. It's like,
like I don't know that I'd say like she's straight out of the 20s. Like she has a very clear motivation. And
oh, for sure.
She just doesn't ever change. Like she's just unwilling to compromise. Whereas like everyone else compromises. Like Sam and Ursula have to compromise and adapt. Like
Yep.
Fuck Cayman. Just had to throw that in there. Ozzy has to adapt.
Yeah.
And compromise. Levi goes through crazy changes. Barry has like a traumatic change.
Yeah.
In seeing Terrence die. Chris is the only one who just says no. And so she just refuses to compromise and refuses to change, which I think is why she's so static and feels so flat to you. But like
it's her motivation is kind of bland. It like, feels,
but it doesn't, like, so to that I'd say she's introduced with half the show gone, and she just gets to be an antagonist with a decent rationale for why she's being awful. Like she doesn't need a change in motivation.
What you think? What was the? I didn't find the rationale to be particularly strong. That was like the kind of thing that didn't make sense to me. I think I felt like her rationale was like pretty fucking.
I mean, like, she wanted to take stuff for their colony.
Sure.
So like, okay, I want to improve my people's quality of life. I don't care about you guys. Like it's very much just, it's a very basic tribalism kind of mindset.
I guess I wish it was voiced better. I agree, but just like the way it was voiced, like there could have been a line of, look, it's them or us. By taking them, we're doing this. Like, just have her say it. I feel like
she even says that.
If she does, it's a little too subdued for my taste. I think it could have been. Like I don't know.
I think when they're on this ship, like when they're on the Demeter, and Barry gets like kind of nervous about it, she's like, "Listen, it's them or us."
She does not say it's that. She doesn't pose it.
No,
no.
I have to rewatch that. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I really feel like that's pretty well enunciated.
I think that's in the show. I just think it could have been said. Like I think that is there, but I think the starkness of it might be something that you are reading into. That is not.
I may just be fucking post editing. I haven't seen it in a bit, but
also, I mean, one of the things is, I have a strong preference for claims to be made, and I think you're okay with inference. And so I bet that, I mean, that is just a personal preference thing, as is most artistic critiques.
Sure.
But the only one that I have that is a true gripe, and I understand why this happened, I just hope this doesn't happen moving forward, is if you watch the wide shots, when what you would traditionally call like a master shot, where it shows the setting and the characters, and they're talking in the wide, the animation of their talking is actually really fucking bad. The lips don't usually match. It's like, and I wish they either just didn't have their lips moving and did it anime style, which is what you'll see in like some wides, is like you won't see the character's mouth moving. They'll just, like, their mouth won't even be present.
Yeah.
Or they will spend money and animate the mouth. But like, don't half it. I think that was like my only like true gripe, was it was really minor. It didn't really matter, but also just like when I noticed it,
I didn't even notice. Or like it didn't stick enough for me to remember.
No, exactly. It is a nitpick that only some people are even going to see. But God, I really wish once I saw it, I was like, like, those aren't moving in the right order. Fuck. But again, like, as we're gonna get into 5 seconds, show's great. All of these problems are very forgivable.
These are
and
these are very minor. Like
Yeah.
we're talking a fair amount about it. Like they're really minor. Like
Yeah. Like, I mean, Eli pointed out some good things that are, the Gecko's motivation, and the choosing of the captain were two of my gripes. It's like, there's, there's a very good potential reason that those are in play. And even though I did kind of annoy the crap out of me a little bit,
yeah,
makes sense.
But all right, let's So do you have any other kind of like?
No, this is this is kind of a rare error for me. I have the least amount of gripes I think I've ever had for a show in a hot minute.
All right, so what's good about it?
Fucking everything.
Yeah, I know.
The animation's beautiful. It's a different style than you'll ever see. If you grew up in the 90s, you're going to watch it. And I don't know why, but you're going to have a nostalgia fucking like
oh yeah
bump.
Oh yeah.
Like it is like doing a drug. You're like, oh my God. I don't know what this is supposed to look like or remind me of, but it does something.
It tickles some itch.
Yeah. I don't know why this reminds me of anything because there's nothing. Actually, it feels like probably cartoons from like the late 70s, early 80s, but it looks fucking rad. It's very unique color palette and style.
Yep. It is a very good sense of style. It is a very like holy fuck. I have never seen something where I don't know how the environment interacts with you.
Yeah.
Like I have so seldom been so caught off guard in any kind of sci-fi, anything. I'm just like, I don't know how this works. Like most things, you get an idea how they operate. Like you know what's bad to touch. You don't don't fucking do that. And there's some of that you can start to discern, but there's so much in this show that you're like, good or bad? Can I touch it? No? Oh no. Okay, oh god. Like it does such a good job keeping you guessing. So you're always interested. Because the environment is so important. Like the planet is so important, and how because most of the show does not have a coordinated antagonist. The first half really doesn't because they're all totally separate.
Yep.
Like there is no antagonist in the first half of the show other than the planet is a fucking asshole.
Yeah.
The planet sucks. Like, oh my god, the planet is miserable. And you've no clue why. You just know it sucks. Like, and it does such a good job at showing you, not telling you.
Yeah.
Like
I think this might be the best show for show don't tell.
Yeah.
In that they
possibly ever.
Yeah. And I mean it makes sense given the circumstance. There's nothing like the characters don't know anything. But to have them either see it with you for the first time or they do a very good job Hitchcockingly with some of the things where they show the planet doing something that then the characters walk into and you're like, oh no!
Yeah. Like the most exposition is they show like a life cycle on something and it's like 30 seconds. Like it's such a small amount of time where it's like, oh, that's bad. Like it just lets you in on how fucked you are. That's really all it's doing. It's like brace yourselves, kids. Like
and it also sets up it's not just for like it also sets up the fear that we have as an audience member for Sam and Ursula.
Yeah, it puts like, stakes.
Fuck. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, oh, that's we have to do something about
danger will
now.
Yeah.
Which also, dude, Sam could not get a break at this show. That poor fucker.
Yeah.
He goes from one awful parasite to another. That poor fucker.
I do like one of the things he did later in the show, and I think it was a really good thing to symbolize. I think it was like a little bit of catharsis symbolism, depending upon how you want to look at it, for like male-female relationships, with him deciding with the parasite and realizing what it was doing to him, and how like Ursula was in danger, that he was like, you need to leave me.
Yeah.
And it was like that I thought
And,
that was a really cool judgment call for like
and it
Deckard
fits
to
his
make.
character so
Yeah.
well. Like he has lost too many of his people. The crew were his people.
Yeah.
And he feels that he failed everyone. It's not his fault. It doesn't matter. He was the captain. It was his ship. He failed his people.
Yeah.
He's like, I cannot endanger one more person.
Yeah.
Go. Like, the sacrifice made sense for such a good reason for him.
Yeah.
And it was so well done. Also, God, it was so cathartic seeing him just tear it out of his chest. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, fuck yeah.
Yeah, which
You're
one
dead,
of us has
but
not
fuck
been
yeah.
sick with something and wanted to be able to just reach in and fucking yank it out?
Oh, God. Oh, that was uncomfortable seeing him peel back his chest. Just like,
Yeah,
what the fuck?
that aspect was far more problematic than the rest of the scene.
Like, oh, I don't like it. Mm-mm. Yeah, the first time
there's a lot of this show that that line gets said. Oh, I don't like that.
Yeah.
The fucking basically half the shit with Cayman and the fucking gecko is uncomfortable.
Yeah. The show does body horror in a way that's like, oh, I don't know. That ain't right.
It's PG rated body horror. It's fucking like the most offensive stuff is stuff that is nearly like PG rated.
Yeah. It's not like super profane. It's not gory.
Yeah.
It's just like
wildly uncomfortable.
That's not right. I don't. Like there's a lot of that sound effect you will make seeing stuff in this show. It's just like I don't. That's not good. I don't. Oh, please no. Put it away.
I mean, to that point though, the design for this setting and its inhabitants might be the most creative thing I've ever seen.
When I watched it with Elder Eli, his end assessment is basically like, this was made by zoologists on mescaline. Like, it's just a bunch of people who studied animals, just took drugs, and went, how can we make shit crazy? Like, it's so wild, and it's so inventive. Like, they really are. It's so hard to know how anything works.
Yeah.
Just like at a glance, like there's the
but you see once you start seeing it work, it makes sense.
Yeah, like it makes sense, but until you are shown, you do not know.
Yeah, you just look at something, you're like, is this gonna attack? Is this gonna be pleasant? Like it could be anything.
Yeah,
and also the way it shows intrigue, especially for like the Ursula character and what her job is, because she I think was the botanist of the crew.
Yeah, like she I don't know if they ever explicitly state, but like she was a botanist or biologist on the ship. Yep. It shows like she's creative. She keeps a journal. She records what she sees.
Curious too.
Yeah.
There's so many situations where Sam's like, "All right, let's go on." She goes, "I want to look at this thing for a minute." And he's like,
"Yeah,
bruh, we gotta go."
Yeah. Like, yeah, it makes so much sense that every character, for as little communication as there is in the show, like there's not a ton of dialogue in the show.
No.
Like, but every character has a very distinct personality. They have a very distinct way they operate, and it makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Like, because Ursula is curious. She takes notes. She investigates. She wants to know. She has to know. That is how she is. Sam is super goal oriented. He has a job to do. He has something he has to effectively rectify and correct. He bears responsibility because this was his ship. He has to fix the situation.
Yeah.
Like, Cayman is a depressed piece of shit.
Yeah. Cayman is somebody that is this is something that I feel like a good amount of men, if they're willing to take a moment and look past the fuck Cayman, which everybody feels because fuck Cayman.
Because fuck Cayman.
But he is so many men, if you're willing to take the moment and just, okay, I've sucked in the past, and look at the reason he's making the decisions and see why, because it makes sense. It's not acceptable or okay, but it's interesting to look at it, at least for me, to look at it and be like, oh, that's why he's doing this. This is really sad.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
Nothing about him doesn't make sense. Yeah. He just sucks.
Well,
he's choosing the worst options.
He's choosing the worst option, and he's lashing out of fear.
Yeah.
All of his decisions were out of fear.
Out of self-preservation and fear.
Yeah, fear of being irrelevant or not good enough. And because his life is one of those lives that if you look at, and if his character had listened and realized that they were enough for what they needed to do, and that losing, or because I mean, all of his stuff was out of like, I need to be sufficient.
Yeah.
It's like his girlfriend, wife, person, partner was
Yeah.
fine with them the way they were, and he couldn't accept that.
Nope.
They were fine. They would have been fine with him if he lost the job.
Yep.
But that wasn't okay with him, and that's what caused all of this.
Yeah. He needed to prove it.
Yeah.
And to the point of endangering people, and to the point of abusing authority, and to the point of absolutely fucking everybody.
Yeah.
Which is why Sam hates him so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And more to this point, all the characters and their motivations make complete sense, whether you like them or not. Like we were talking about with Sam, with Ursula, with Ozzy.
Yeah.
Levi, they all make sense at every point. There is no time, and I like the collision of some of them, of why one character wants one thing and one wants the other.
Yep.
Even though you want them to agree as they are like teammates, you understand why Ozzy's like, I'm uncomfortable with a machine thinking and having feelings. What the fuck is this?
Yeah, like, I work with these. This shouldn't be happening.
Yeah.
Like,
but also you understand why Levi is curious. And I feel like also this would be something I feel like to ask other Eli, is I feel like Levi is a stand-in for trans characters.
If it is, they said nothing about it. So I don't know.
Well, my logic
too much into it.
Well, no, my logic is created one way, change happens upon them, and they are seen a different way. And then with the way Ozzy tries to look at their circuitry and reset them, it kind of felt like society being like, "Hey, something's wrong. Let's fix this." It's like,
I see where you're looking. I think you may be reading too much into it.
That's valid. I mean, it plays either way. I think
sometimes the cigar is just a cigar.
Sure. I think either way it plays fine. I think it, as a ally, I think that is something that plays well with the way I see it. But also, if it's not that way, the Levi character is awesome and a really cool thing that I feel like with the way the show ended, either past me or plenty of other people would see that as a Deus Ex kind of fix of like, oh, like they're fucked, the Gecko's gonna fuck them, but then Levi shows back up. But the more I think about it, it's the one time they catch a goddamn break. The whole really show is an anti-Deus Ex of everything's going well, except go fuck yourself. Except go fuck. No, I said go fuck. I said go fuck yourself.
Go fuck yourself.
And then they have one time where something's just like, you know what?
Also,
let them have this one.
it makes sense too.
Yeah.
Levi likes Ozzy.
Yeah.
Like, they're friends. Like,
Levi likes Ozzy, and also is, I think...
Also, the Gecko tore me apart.
Also, fuck that Gecko up. Yeah, that Gecko
also,
fucking turned
oh, that scene hurt.
I was uncomfortable. That's the most uncomfortable and unsettled I was with the episode.
I knew it was coming when it happened. I'm like, no, don't you dare. Don't you fucking do this to me. Like...
Yeah, they also waited the appropriate amount of time for you to like feel bad, get over it, and then to bring him back. Great. But with the way it happens up until that moment, also I'm pretty sure that the flower and the stuff inside of Levi is the planet itself.
Yeah.
Which is why
Levi can come back.
Yeah.
But also, I actually called it. I said, I think Levi will come back. Like, an episode.
Oh no, I was on team Levi's coming back.
Yeah. I also wonder if, so hopefully they get a second season. And
they do. Netflix bought it.
I think they've given it like a provincial run.
Okay.
I don't know if they've greenlit a second season. I hope so. I wonder if Levi is effectively going to become the villain because they're going to try and propagate the planet.
I could see that. I also could see Sam coming back as like, it wasn't that easy to remove the host, but
I hope not. I hope, as much as I hate saying this, I hope Sam just stays dead.
I'm fine with either. I think with the way they've written it so far, I trust the bless you. I trust the writers.
Yeah.
Um,
I also, one other thing they do a good job show not tell is they do a really good job making you realize how long they've been stranded on the planet, which I thought was really cool, like in very different ways. So in the first episode, the familiarity that Sam and Ursula have with how things work and what plants and animals they can take advantage of, with Ozzy having set up a fucking house and trying to plant crops, and with Cayman etching in his escape pod. They show three very distinct ways that so much time has passed since they've been stuck.
yeah.
Which I thought was very, very clever. I also love that the title sequence is a quick synopsis of how they ended up there.
Mm-hmm.
And so even from episode 1, where you don't have full backstory for how they ended up there, you have enough like rough draft and rough information to go, okay, here's what happened. I thought that was a very clever use of the title card and the intro song.
Oh, also the intro is, I love that intro so fucking much.
It's wonderfully simple. It's terrific.
It's so disturbingly peaceful.
Oh yeah. Speaking of terrific music, it has possibly my most loved and hated musical little transition,
Which is?
where Sam is super energetic after getting the parasite put in
Oh
him.
god.
And like it's the panpipe music, and he's just like running around working out, and then he finds the clay, and then it pitches it down half a step, and it's so
Yes.
uncomfortable. I'm like,
Yes.
this is no longer good.
Yeah.
This is really bad now.
Yeah. No, I remember that distinctly too. Be like, oh, I hate you, motherfuckers. Like, I took enough music. I know what this means, you son of a bitch.
Like, don't do that. Yeah, the show was really good. Like,
Yep.
yeah,
Banger.
yeah.
So was doing some Googling. Netflix has bought it. It got canceled on Max. I believe it's going over to Netflix as of like the 31st or something.
Okay.
But I believe that season 2 is pending people watching it on Netflix, which is a really weird metric to use because it's already been on another platform for a long time. But I think it's dependent upon, from the little blurb I was reading, it's dependent upon viewership. So go watch it on Netflix.
Please go watch it. Just run it on a loop. Like,
Yeah, just play a loop of it.
I want a second season. So it's so good.
But until we get a second season, what would you grade the first, my friend?
I would probably rate the first season like a 9 out of 10.
It's about where I'm giving it. I'm giving it an A minus. I think there's things that they could have improved on. By and large, though, fucking Crackerjack would highly recommend.
Yeah,
And
it's not going to be a show for everybody. Like,
God no.
God no. But like, man, if you're into this kind of shit, it's so good. It really.
If you want to look
so
at beautiful art and think weird thoughts, boy
Yeah.
howdy, do I have a show for you.
It's also a show where I'm like, I don't know if you should watch this on drugs or absolutely never. Like,
I feel like watching this show, it's not a gateway to doing drugs, but it'll let you know what doing drugs feels like if you've never done drugs. So if you're like, would I enjoy drugs? Watch this show, and if you like this show, maybe you should try drugs.
Yeah. I also one more thing.
Super Bros does not
do not condone.
does not condone the use of drugs. This is all for hilarious effect.
Only take stuff prescribed by a doctor. One last
Scavengers rain may result in dizzying headaches, thoughtful thinking,
potential hallucinogen use. One other compliment I have to give the show, actually, which it's a weird compliment. I remember seeing the trailer for the show because you told me about it. I looked at the trailer. I'm like, I feel like I've seen the whole show. Nah, I saw like chunks of episodes 1 and 2.
Yeah,
it does such a good job teasing it without showing you shit. Okay, fair enough. Like, goddamn. Yeah, So that is one thing that's like hard to do, is to get that much intrigue and show so little.
So, if you want to know what kind of art this was, by the way, or referential to, if you're like, I'm unsure, there is a French artist and cartoonist called Jean Giraud, Giraud. So I'm probably saying that wrong. But if you Google Mobius, that's the art style that this show is. A little bit, not as deep, but if you look up Mobius as an art style, that is a good descriptor for the show. I don't know why this looks familiar, because up until I looked at it, I've never seen anything like this. But again, it just feels like something that you've seen before. But it's a style that feels like, it's a surrealistic style. It feels like it's from like the 80s, 90s. There's definitely animated films like this. But if you look up Mobius, Moebius art style, that'll give you a good idea of the art style of the show. Or just go fucking watch the show. It's 12 episodes that are 25 minutes apiece. It's real fucking short, but fucking amazing and
it's
very
not
gripping.
super long. You can knock it out in a day or two.
Hell, you can probably even knock out the first episode while you pause this episode while we're on our ad break. See you in a bit.
Don't you enjoy thinking about how things could always be worse? Isn't it great to look at a hellish wasteland and think, well, thank God I'm not there? Don't you love watching some other sucker struggle against the odds to survive while you're just sitting happily on your couch? Well, let's talk about some post-apocalyptic movies. Be it a cataclysmic flood, a debilitating absence of water, or a genetically engineered plague run amok, these movies are packed to the brim with no shortage of human-made consequences our heroes will need to overcome just to make the slightest bit of forward progress. Beset with dangers and fraught with desperation, you can watch survivors in a hellish-drenched nightmarescape kill people senselessly as their humanity erodes away before you. But don't worry, it's just a movie. You don't have to think about the philosophical and moral dilemmas too hard that they face. It's just fiction. So go on, enjoy the end of the world at someone else's expense. Warning, thinking too hard about these movies may enlighten you to the grim fact that humans may be hurtling towards one of these outcomes ourselves due to corporate greed and a lack of empathy. Dwelling on this for prolonged periods may lead to malaise and an increase in political posting on Facebook.
Hey, how'd you like the first episode? Did you watch it? Did you not watch it? I don't care, because I'm not talking to you, because I don't know who you are. However, other things that we would recommend watching are...
we have talked about it in the past, but since I have started rewatching it with other Eli, I have to rep Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Show's just great.
Bangs.
It bangs. It goes pretty hard at times. It's also goofier than I remember it at the start.
Yeah, it's got some moments where you're just like...
A lot of the start is a lot more goofy than I remember. I'm like, wow, this is a lot of slapstick in episodes 1, 2, and 3. But yeah, it's very good. It's very enjoyable. Watch it subbed, not dubbed. Be a human. I was a little worried because I started rewatching it with other Eli. But I was like, you watch like subbed, right? Like, am I a fucking animal? I was like, oh, thank God. Okay. Like we can still, this works. Okay. I was worried. What about you?
So I recently just finished Three Body Problem on Netflix. It's only like 7 or 8 episodes, but they're like an hour each. It's a very fascinating idea. It's a lot bigger than can be put into a show truly. There's multiple times that you can punch holes and shit for sure. But I think as a show, I think it's a great thought experiment of a show. And I would definitely recommend thinking about it or watching it and letting your brain just kind of go, Bwah! As Jim and Eric show would like you to recommend you do. It's really amazing. The acting's very fun. There's a lot of cool, realistic responses that I kind of appreciated. The guy that plays...
got me.
Yes,
I wasn't ready for that shit.
If you know, you know. But there's a character... I love this actor. I need to look up his name. He's in a lot of stuff these days, and I'm grateful for it. There's a couple of the actors from this are from Game of Thrones, and there are a couple of the holdovers that I love the most. Liam Cunningham is fucking amazing in everything I've ever seen him in. He was the Onion Knight in Game of Thrones. He's Thomas Wade in this. He's in other stuff. Or he's Devos Seaworth is what the given name was for him. Also, Benedict Wong is in this show, who I love. And he's not in it. I didn't say anything. Where's this? Who's the other guy that's in this? Oh, John Bradley, who plays what's his name? I can't remember his name from Game of Thrones, but he played a really cool different role that I'm not used to seeing him in, which was lovely. The show's amazing. It takes a very interesting idea and kind of runs with it. Very fun sci-fi, very cool. A lot of things unexplained. Can't wait for the next season. Would really recommend if you want to have some existential dread and deep thoughts. I think it's really cool. You've been listening to anything this week?
So there is a song from the show Hell of a Boss that managed to earworm into me. And it's called All to You. And it's basically a fucking emo rock breakup song. It's so good. It's so good. I hate how good it is. But the guy who sings it, Bryce Pinkman, is just such a good fucking singer and does such a good job conveying emotion with how he sings. It's just good. It's just so good. I don't like it. It's so good. So yeah, that's my submission.
So I have offered them up at least once or twice in the past. One of my favorite bands, Joywave, came out with a new album not too long ago. I don't think it's particularly recent, but it's called Permanent Pleasure. Would really recommend the song Hate to Be a Bother, and He's Back, which takes a very funny stance on if Jesus Christ came back according to the way people like to see him currently. You know, give that what's the fucking like the Ben Kenobi fucking like visage of Jesus, and just kind of like looking at him in the way that we realize him and not the way that he actually was. Which fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
It involves saying stuff about stock portfolios. I'll just put it that way. You can derive what you want from there. Just listen to the track. It's fucking hilarious. We didn't get to talking about the Olympics as we had previously thought, but in summation, Christians and the far right can calm the fuck down and read a book if they want to ever have conversations.
Look at the right painting, for God's sake.
To any and all of the above. Also, like,
chill.
Yeah, like if God's big enough to make the universe, he's big enough to have a couple idiots say a joke about him. Like if you think that's what's happening, calm the fuck down and believe that your superpower is actually super powerful and maybe doesn't need you to fucking like throw rocks and be a crybaby for him.
Yeah.
Anyway, speaking of the Olympics, there was a great YouTuber that I enjoy their shorts, but saw one of their long form videos the other day. It'll be included in the link. It's Claire Hawkins. She does a lot of shorts from the perspective of either you've seen some where she's like a camp counselor, or others where she is a not ballet instructor, but a gymnast instructor, like working with kids. And this is a classic, like, one person doing all the acting, which I actually fucking, I don't know what it is, but it's so original. And
sometimes it plays well.
When done right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like Call Me Chris does an amazing job. Claire does a great job. It's just so, when it's done right, it's so fucking cool. And I respect the ingenuity of it, and to go out there and make it yourself. It's so fucking awesome.
I mean, I still watch Pitch Meeting. It's just Ryan George talking to himself.
Yes. Also, he doesn't. Yeah, Ryan George does an amazing job. But that's my YouTube recommendation. Eli, do you have one that I might have shown you right before the show started that you'd like to tell the people to go watch? perhaps about a Super Mario ride.
Show me the dick in my socket. With the last bit of hydration in our bodies. Ah! Oh, Bill Burr.
So right before this podcast started, I showed my host this short that I don't know who the fuck took the time, because I don't think it's Bill took the
Who
time.
animated this? It's
They
amazing.
animate it like Lego fucking After Effects. It's fucking awesome.
It's terrific.
It'll be included in the link below. Have yourself a great shouty 30 minutes of 30 seconds of comedy and enjoy this.
God, I'd pay for 30 minutes of that.
I would too. I would pay top
pay
dollar.
so much. Like,
Yeah.
$100 done.
Yeah, there you go.
Get it.
Fucking take my money.
Yeah.
And to close out the episode, as we always do, we're gonna have a quip off. What we quipping today, my boy?
Fucking wrong. Who made this show? Why did I just blank? Help.
It's not who you think it was, for the record.
It's the guy who made Family Guy.
Yeah, it's not Seth MacFarlane. He didn't make the show.
What?
It was kind of like a last minute ad. The two people that actually created it aren't him, but it basically is him.
Okay. Either way, my brain fed me Mel Brooks. I'm like, that's not right.
That is, in fact, not correct.
I was like, that is incredibly incorrect. Seth MacFarlane, thank you. We're coming American Dad. Because it's full of dumb shit and good slapstick, so it seems ripe for the taking.
All right, putting 2 minutes on the timer. Ready, set, go.
That's barge talk, Francine.
Ooh.
I hate you. I say that not out of anger, but simply as fact.
It's 67 degrees outside, and I hate you.
Dumbass people have dumbass kids. These crocodiles, Francine. These crocodiles, my God.
I will shove you back up my clown hole, birth you again, and name you my bitch.
Francine, my mother is not manipulating me. Our relationship is completely normal.
You sound smart like Hugh Grant the movie star, but you're stupid like Hugh Grant the person.
Oh, we've been relieving a lot of stress.
Stelio, Condos, Stelio.
They're working in tandem. They're brothers in arms.
You tell me when I've carried those oranges up the stairs, okay?
Whatever you do, don't look at that book.
Schmoobly dong? Is that a word? I don't know. It sounds it's as close as we're gonna get.
Maybe, baby.
These rocks will make a fine raft.
Oh, it was just a little froyo. Don't need to get too extreme.
Sorry, I can't talk to you. I'm zombie dancing with my son.
You come and sense I'm a fish. Sometimes I smell fishy.
And to close it out, you hustling me, boy?
Poltergeist. Opens the doors. Stan just slams. Are we doing this? Are we okay with this? I didn't include. You harpooned me. Got a headache from all that shouting. Oh, not to one up you, but I've got a headache from my skull changing shape.
Steve, I freaked out. No, it's Steve. Yeah, it's Steve. I freaked out. Either way, that's our episode. Thank you for tuning in. And if you enjoyed this, please feel free to
like,
comment,
share,
and subscribe.
But don't forget, new episodes of Super Pros Bros come out the first and third Saturday of every month.
Bye.
Bye.